Hi everyone, thank you for joining us and welcome to our Scholarships for Study Abroad presentation. In this presentation, we will talk about how you can find scholarships, how to apply, and we'll give you tips on how to write a strong essay. Even though we'll be focusing more on study abroad, much of the information you can also use if you're applying for college scholarships, for example.
Hello, my name is Adrienne Cifuentes, and I am a Regional Advisor at the Education Abroad program at the University of California, Santa Barbara.
And I am Wilcy Lear. I am the Associate Director for International Programs and Scholarships at the University of California, Los Angeles, UCLA. So let's start looking at some of the most common types of scholarships. Merit-based scholarships take into consideration your academic standing, like your GPA, your abilities, artistic, athletic, or leadership skills. It can also include extracurricular activities, if you have done any community service. In summary, these are your accomplishments. Financial need-based scholarships are for students from low-income families. Eligibility will be based on your family annual income, or the scholarship will require that you be receiving financial aid to qualify. Some scholarships are based on gender, race, religion, which are student-specific factors. It can even include medical history. Underrepresented or minority scholarships are the most common awards in this category. It includes transfer students, first generation, LGBTQIA, women, students with autism, diabetes, disabilities, includes single moms, DACA students. This is a huge list. If you go online and you check on this type of scholarships, you're going to see that there are many scholarships available in this category. This type of scholarship focus on very specific groups. You may be eligible for a scholarship depending on your program destination. Some donors may specify a country or even a university as a requirement for the scholarship. At UCLA, for example, we have 2 scholarships that are offered to students that go to Israel, but one of them is quite specific as it determines which university the student must be enrolled in order to be eligible for the scholarship. One thing to keep in mind is that students who have more flexibility for their destination may be able to find scholarships that are not so competitive. Also, they may be able to find programs that are more affordable. Program-specific scholarships are offered by individual study abroad programs, so your campus may have scholarships that are linked to their specific programs. If you search online, you will find scholarship providers that require you to enroll in their study abroad programs to be eligible for their scholarships. There is also scholarships if you want to study a foreign language, or if you want to study a critical language as defined by the US government. There are 2 great scholarships we will mention a little later in this presentation. And the last type we're going to be talking about is the field-specific scholarships, and they are awarded to students in a particular major or field of study. So some types of scholarships can be quite competitive, while others go underutilized. Do your research. See which types of scholarships you're eligible for. Amount of awards can vary significantly. Most scholarships will average between $1,000 to $5,000, but you will find many scholarships that can offer less than $1,000, and in a rare occasion, more than $5,000. The duration of your program can play a role in how much money you could receive or which scholarships you're eligible for. So some scholarships may give you more money if you are abroad for a whole year instead of just a summer or a semester. Be realistic about the award amount. You may need to apply to multiple scholarships to reach the amount needed to cover the cost of your program. Pay attention to the application and award notification timeline. You can apply for scholarships even before you get accepted into a study abroad program. They will confirm your enrollment at a later point. Many scholarships have a very early application deadline, and there are scholarships that are already accepting applications for students that will go abroad summer or even fall 2021. One thing to keep in mind is, can you afford your program if you don't get the scholarship? The scholarship organizations like the Gilman may notify students after the program withdrawal deadline. So if you're not selected, are you able to afford that program? Selecting an affordable program at the beginning can save you thousands of dollars, can make the process less stressful, making it less crucial for you to have to receive multiple scholarships in order to go abroad. So talk with your study abroad office. They can help you find a program that will fit your budget. Scholarships can give you other benefits besides money. Winning scholarships can be difficult, but your resume can showcase this additional achievement. It can make you stand out. Employers may give additional recognition to an applicant when they see a scholarship on the resume. In other words, it can make you a more attractive job candidate. Some scholarships offer ongoing support or alumni programs after your study abroad time. For example, a scholarship may provide a mentorship program that aims to academic success. Others can connect its scholarship winners with nonprofit organizations for volunteering opportunities, internships, or even jobs. Alumni of the Gilman Award are eligible for 12 months of a special hiring status with the federal government. So, besides the financial benefit, you can also gain real-world experience. We all know how important networking is. Winning a scholarship can give you great networking opportunities. You may be able to network with other students that have also received the same scholarship, and networking can also open doors for other academic and research opportunities. At UCLA, the students that receive the Alumni Scholarship are also given a membership into the Alumni Scholars Club, which is a community that hosts exclusive events for alumni scholars. This is a great opportunity for students to build out their professional network. Winning a scholarship can also encourage philanthropy. Many students who win a scholarship may have the desire to help others as they have been helped, and can make a difference in other students' lives. So, when looking for scholarships, take into consideration all the benefits they provide.
There are many scholarships out there as long as you know where to look. Your college is the best place to start. I recommend starting at your campus study abroad office. They'll very likely have a list of recommended scholarships of many different types and from many different providers in all of these categories. You'll also want to talk with your financial aid office. Not only will they be able to tell you how you can use your existing financial aid, so you know how many scholarships you need to apply, but they will also let you know if there are any additional scholarships that can follow you abroad that may not specifically be for study abroad. Governments are also a great source of scholarships. We'll be talking about the Gilman and the Boren specifically, but foreign governments may also offer scholarships for students to study in their countries. You can contact that country's embassy to learn about availability. Once you've chosen a study abroad program, ask that program provider if they have any scholarships. Many of them do. The UC Education Abroad program and CIEE are just two examples of many. Various businesses also have scholarships. These could be corporations, heritage and language clubs, Rotary and service organizations. And then private donors usually have specific requirements for their scholarships. Sometimes private donors give their funding through your college, through the government, or through a business or organization, and sometimes they may give it directly to the student. Here are a selection of national scholarships. These are scholarships that are open to anyone. This is just a partial list. The ones on the right show that there are some national scholarships by region or country specifically. We would like to highlight the Gilman Scholarship. This is a great national scholarship that UC students have been very successful in receiving in the past. This is a really good scholarship to apply to because it's one of the higher awarding scholarships with up to $5,000. Or if you're studying a critical language, you can be awarded up to $8,000. A critical need language is typically a non-Western European language. If you are eligible for this scholarship, you should certainly apply for it. Eligibility is for US citizens receiving the Pell Grant. If you're not sure if you received the Pell Grant, just check your financial aid award letter. The Gilman McCain Scholarship is a subset of this, so it's the very same application, but the Gilman McCain is for children of active duty service members. And if you are one, then you don't need to be receiving the Pell Grant to be eligible for this scholarship. The Gilman awards specifically to students who are going to a country that's on the U.S. Department of State's travel advisory system at a level 1 or 2, which means they're very low risk. At the time of this recording, due to COVID-19, most countries are at a level 3 or 4, which would initially make that country ineligible for the scholarship. However, the Gilman recognizes that the situation is changing rapidly. So if your country is a level 3 or 4, that is okay at the time of application. If your country continues to be at a level 3 or 4, by the time your program starts, Gilman may require you to either change countries or postpone studying abroad for a future term, and you may be able to carry your scholarship over with you. So there is no reason not to apply for this scholarship. Gilman really emphasizes awarding students and countries that are underrepresented in study abroad. This typically means not Western Europe for countries, although students going to Western European countries and English-speaking countries do win the Gilman. It just means that you need to have a very strong application. And students underrepresented in study abroad are many of the minority and identity factors that we'll see mentioned at the beginning and we'll mention again a little later on. Another unique aspect of the Gilman Scholarship is that they require a project proposal for you to complete once you return home from abroad. Now, this doesn't have to be anything that will change the world. Gilman is actually looking for a very simple project that is more likely for you to complete. It can be something as easy as giving a presentation to your student club, maybe going back to your high school to give a presentation, or creating a blog about how to live cheaply in a very expensive city abroad. It just needs to be something that encourages other people to study abroad and to apply to scholarships. The Boren Scholarship is another underutilized scholarship. This one has the highest award amount of up to $25,000. This one, they're looking for students going to regions of the world that are critical to U.S. interests and underrepresented in study abroad. So again, not Western Europe. And they are very open to what critical to U.S. interests means. So that is up for you to make a case for in your statement of purpose. You must be studying a critical language in order to receive this scholarship. And if you do receive it, then after you graduate, you must work for the federal government for 1 year after graduation, which is a great perk to have 1 year of guaranteed employment after graduation. One thing to keep in mind is that the deadline for the scholarship is always very, very early, up to about 9 months in advance of when you think you might be going abroad. And you must apply through your campus scholarship office. So you can contact your study abroad office, the financial aid office, or the scholarship office, and they'll be able to point you in the right direction.
As you go online and start applying for scholarships, keep in mind that money does not fall from the sky. And here are some tips on how you can avoid scams. Nobody can guarantee that you will be awarded a scholarship. If someone contacts you with a scholarship offer, be careful. Scholarships are awarded after an application process. Scholarships do have deadlines, but they should be clearly stated. Legitimate providers don't pressure students into applying for their scholarships. Applying for a scholarship does not cost any money. Never apply for any scholarship where you need to pay a fee. Scholarship applications will, of course, require from you some basic information, but be aware if you see requests for private information like your social security number. That's a sign for you to walk away. Legitimate scholarships always have some sort of eligibility requirement, whether it's GPA, financial need, age, or school year. Any scholarship that claims to be all-encompassing with absolutely no exceptions should raise a red flag. As you navigate the web, be aware of clicking on links that can install malware on your computer or utilizing websites that advertise deals that seem too good to be true. When you check your email, never click on links or attachments from users you don't know or emails that look suspicious. The key is apply to as many scholarships as you can, but be wise not to become a victim of a scam. Before you start applying, do your research. Be familiar with what's available out there. And then get organized. Make a list of all the scholarships you want to apply for. Maybe you can create a spreadsheet. Then write down the requirements, amount of each scholarship, the deadlines, all required documents. Then you can rank them by the ones you are most eligible for to the ones that might be a little bit of a stretch. Transcripts, essays, and recommendation letters make up the essential components of most scholarship applications. But some scholarships may have unique requirements, so double check if anything else is required. Take into consideration that it can take some time for you to request and receive transcripts and recommendation letters. Do not procrastinate. Read carefully what kind of transcript is required. Sometimes they accept unofficial transcripts, but sometimes they do want the official one. Essays are required for almost every study abroad scholarship. Consider this your chance to explain to the scholarship provider why you truly deserve their financial support. Take note if they have given a specific prompt or if they have asked for any specific information. Adrian is going to be talking about this next. And then finally, double check, review if the application is missing any documents. Make sure you have met all the requirements.
Writing a winning essay. 2 quotes of words of wisdom. The most valuable of all talents is that of never using 2 words when one will do. To be even more concise, be concise. And if you don't have time to read, you don't have the time or the tools to write. Simple as that. And that's referring to reading the essay prompt. You want to make sure that you read that prompt very carefully and that you respond to all aspects of the prompt. So here are some common essay prompts. Even if the essay prompt doesn't specifically state this, you want to make sure to include all of the information about your study abroad program. These are possible preference factors. They're looking for those underrepresented countries. They're looking for you to be going abroad as long as possible. They encourage language learning. They encourage interaction with locals. So that might be locals in your classroom, living with locals in a homestay, any relevant excursions or extracurriculars. Be sure you include all of this information. Scholarship essays are typically read by multiple readers. So you can imagine that you may get read by someone who knows absolutely nothing about your program and they are looking for that critical information. Or they might know everything about your program Maybe they went on your program, and they're also looking for these really important points, and they'll know if you leave it out. Most essay prompts will ask you to connect your program to your major or academic plans, possible future or career plans, or any personal growth or language goals. Here, it is so important to be specific. Instead of writing something like, I will take classes for my major, you want to say, I am an economics major and I am planning to take microeconomics, world theory, and language immersion classes. Those first two classes are going to apply to my upper division elective requirements, and the third one is a core course requirement. You want to be as specific as possible. That way the essay reader knows who you are and they know how the program connects to your goals specifically. When you're talking about your future or career plans, we understand that you may not know 100% what you're going to do in the future. But what we are looking for is that you can think about what possible connection it might have and how studying abroad could potentially help you in the future. So think of a point. I'm thinking about being a teacher in the future. I see that meeting people from different backgrounds and communicating with them is going to be important as in my future as a teacher. It's okay if it's not 100% sure, but in your statement, be assertive and state that it is going to happen. Another example, you'll want to state specifically why you need to study in that particular country or that particular university or program. For example, if your goal is to learn Spanish, why are you going to Spain when you could be going to a country in Latin America? A lot of scholarship essays are looking for those underrepresented countries. Latin America is more underrepresented than Spain, so you need to be specific. A lot of essay prompts may ask you if you're planning to research, do an internship, volunteer, or work while you're abroad. This is not a trick question. It is okay for you to say, no, I'm planning to focus on my classes. And if that's the case, that's fine. You can leave it at that. I would much rather read a simple no than, well, maybe if the opportunity presents itself. Don't waste your precious word space in your essay for something that you're not sure of. If you are planning to pursue one of these options, give some examples. Give a couple names of organizations that you're hoping to internship with. Perhaps you have a possible research topic in mind. Any details you can include will strengthen your essay. This is another important point, which may not be specifically requested in the prompt, but I recommend that all students include this. You want to explain your specific, personal, and financial need. Now, this can feel a little awkward. Culturally, we're not very eager to share our finances, but this is really important in a scholarship essay when you're asking for funding. It is very important to be vulnerable and share what your financial situation looks like for you. They want to be able to get to know you and see how this scholarship would actually help. So if, for example, you haven't been able to pick up that minor or study that language because you also have to work part-time while you're studying, maybe you need to be going home on the weekends to help your family, point that out. Talk about your financial situation. Maybe when you go abroad, you won't be able to work, so that's where the scholarship will come in handy. And remember, the scholarship funding is to help you with your study costs and your living expenses. Scholarship funding is not for traveling. So we know while you're abroad, you're going to have an amazing time traveling, but don't put it in your scholarship essay. Keep it focused on your academic or career goals. And another essay tip, as we've mentioned a couple times, it's so important to self-identify any underrepresented identities that you hold. So here's a list of the most common ones, but if there is anything else that has made your story unique, they want to know who you are, and they want to know how your identity has impacted your decision to study abroad. And some people think, oh, I don't want to be a pity party. It's not that at all. They want to celebrate the difficulties that you've overcome. Perhaps think about what the success of studying abroad, fully funded, would mean for you. Maybe what it would mean for your family, or what it would mean for other people that share your identity.
Now that you know how to write a great essay, here is an important advice. Get your essay reviewed. You can start getting help after writing your first draft. Start early. Get feedback. It's okay to send multiple drafts. The more feedback you get, the more you can improve your writing and avoid grammatical or misspelling errors. Also, take advantage of your campus writing labs or tutors. They are there to help you. You may also check with your study abroad office for help, maybe with your essay or even your application. And get input from your friends, your classmates. You may have peers that are strong writers. Ask them to help you. Okay, so you did all the hard work getting your application, documents, everything ready. Now you just need to submit it. Seems like a simple step, no-brainer, right? However, this is a critical step. Do not wait until the last minute. Make sure you keep in mind the deadline of the scholarship application and you check the time zone. The scholarship provider may be in a different time zone than yours. Also, if you submit your application early, you will avoid technical glitches. We all know that sites tend to crash from high traffic right at the deadline. Again, do not wait until the last minute.
All right, so next steps, now that you have the tools you need to get going, I recommend that you contact your campus study abroad office so that you can find that affordable program and get a list of recommended scholarships and ask any questions about getting your essay reviewed or general tips and advice. Make sure that you also make an appointment to talk with your financial aid advisor. You want to find out what aid you can use to study abroad and what the impact would be of additional scholarships on your existing aid. And with that, we thank you so much and good luck on your study abroad and scholarship search.